Hi, I'm Terry Kyle, the Australian co-founder of WPX.net, and WPX is a high-speed WordPress hosting company for SEOs, for solopreneurs and small agencies. And since 2016, we've been taking care of hundreds of homeless dogs here in Eastern Europe. And we're in our 5th year with our own dog shelter here, which is all funded by WPX, and we have our own foundation, everydogmatters.org. In today's episode, we're going to be meeting our very first ever deaf dog. It's a 10-week-old little puppy called Gracie. And what's unique about Gracie, for us at least, is that we've never ever, in the 5 years of having our shelter here, had a completely deaf dog. And to be blunt, we actually don't have much experience with deaf dogs. We're not sure how do they cope, how are they going to navigate in life, what special measures do we need to take while Gracie is here with us. So now we're going to leave lovely Sammy, handsome boy, aren't you, buddy? He's very playful. He's a great dog. We're going to leave Sammy behind and we're going to head over to quarantine area because Gracie has not been with us very long. She's still going through all the vaccinations and all of that. And we're going to meet our very first deaf dog and find out how she's going to navigate her life as deaf. So this is Gracie, our first deaf dog. She's about 13 weeks now and she's been with us for 10 weeks. She was 3 weeks old when she came in and she was actually found under a car in a nearby car park just alone. So we don't know about her brothers and sisters or about the mother. And at first we weren't sure that she was completely deaf because she seemed to react, but really it was more from vibration of the door, the floor, that kind of thing. She's extremely sweet. She's about double the size, I think, of when she first came, maybe more. And I'll show you on screen now how big she was when she first arrived. She was a tiny little thing. She's extremely sweet. And we've never had any experience with deaf dogs. So we had to do some research on this. And essentially what we found, and maybe we're going to encounter more deaf dogs in the future, is that the other senses kind of compensate. And for a dog, the nose is probably the most important sense, and they're always sniffing things. You know, they obviously have a very powerful nose. So the other senses compensate more. So you've obviously got sight and smell and that kind of thing, compensate more for the loss of hearing. So when it comes to adoption, it's very important that the adopter is patient, understands the special needs of a little deaf dog like Gracie. So they'll use more like hand signals, for example, rather than audio cues for sitting and coming and things like that. And also, you don't want to surprise a deaf dog, so you approach from the front. You don't want it to get scared or worried about, you know, sudden things startling them. But she's very, very sweet. So at the beginning of this episode, I talked about the happy ending for Gracie, and a happy ending is that we actually just today have approved adopters for Gracie. We found out about the home with the house check and all of that. She's got a very patient, loving family waiting, and they'll be coming back, I think in about, it's about 2.5 weeks they're coming to get Gracie. So I'm sure she'll do really well. So she's our first deaf dog, and we didn't have her very long before she was adopted. So she's a bit of a powerhouse, little one. Very, very cuddly, very sweet. Aren't you, darling? So that's the situation with Gracie. Now in the next episode, we're going to meet our newest case here. This is a street dog from the city we're located on the edge of. And this was a dog we saw on Facebook, we saw video, and he had a very, very bad busted kind of front leg. In terms of mobility, when dogs have a problem with a front leg, it's a much bigger issue than a back leg. So we're going to meet Bobby. He's quite friendly. I actually haven't met him yet before recording the episode that you're about to see. And we're going to find out what his future will be and why we decided to take him in with that leg situation. So I hope to see you on that next episode.